the annual Museum in Motion event at the Shore Line Trolley Museum, where you can see a parade of many of the cars in their collection. Coming up.
Operated by volunteer Christopher Mitchell, Union Railway Car 316 was built in 1895 by the American Car Company of St. Louis. It ran in the Bronx and in Westchester County, New York. Operating speeds for this type of single truck car was in the range of 15 to 20 miles per hour, twice as fast as cable cars and 4 times as fast as horse-drawn streetcars. At these speeds, it became possible for large numbers of people to regularly commute from residential neighborhoods to work, shopping, and school. Cities and suburbs began to expand along new streetcar lines. Car 316 is 30 feet long, weighs 17,000 pounds, and seats 20 passengers. Operated by volunteer Tom Lawrenson, Brooklyn Rapid Transit Car 1792 was built in 1899. The car cabs enclosed in 1905 and air brake brakes were added to replace handbrakes in 1912. In 1925, this car was retired from public service and was used to haul sand for the next 4 decades. Car 1792 was briefly used in Nassau County in the early 1920s, and it's the last Long Island trolley in existence. The car is 35 feet long, weighs 26,000 pounds, and carries 32 passengers. Operated by volunteer Barry Zuckerman, car 4573 was the museum's first Brooklyn car, representing the largest trolley system in the United States. It is a 4-motor convertible running in the same configuration as the Shore Line Trolley Museum. Grills would come off the car and would be replaced with full panels for cold weather operation. Built by the Laconia Car Company in 1906, it started its service on Flatbush Avenue and ran until 1934 when it was converted to a salt and sand car. In 1947, the car was selected by Branford. It was a rare and well-preserved example of this type of car. Car 4573 is 43 feet long, weighs 48,000 pounds, and seats 44 passengers. Operated by volunteer Steve Rudolph as the motorman and Peter Callahan as the conductor, Connecticut Company Car 1425 was built in 1911 by the Osgood Bradley Car Company of Worcester, Mass. These cars were the perfect vehicles to view the countryside while being cooled by the breeze, and were nicknamed breezers. They were often used for traveling to beaches and amusement parks. Most of these cars disappeared in the 1920s as they could not be used during winter or on rainy days and could not be operated by only one person. However, Connecticut Company New Haven used these cars right until 1947 as they were able to handle the huge crowds attending the Yale Bowl games. Operated by volunteer George Papaga, Connecticut Company Car 1911 was built by the J.G. Brill Company of Philadelphia in 1919 with a steel undercarriage and side plates and with ornate wood windows. Cars like this were often used on suburban trolley lines throughout the state. On September 25, 1948, Sister Car 1902 was the last trolley car to run in New Haven and was the last trolley car in public service in Connecticut. This ended nearly 80 years of street railway service in the city. Car 1911 is 49 feet long, weighs 49,000 pounds, and seats 44 passengers. Due to automobile competition, street railways began to lose passengers and revenue. In response, a small lightweight car was designed with improved small motors and interlocked brakes to stop the car in the event of a mishap to the motorman. The safety car was supposed to generate savings because it used less power and was operated by one person. Operated by volunteer Tim Green, Connecticut Company 2350 is an example of a safety car. Built in 1922 by the Osgood Bradley Car Company of Worcester, Mass., the car ran in Middletown until 1930. It was then transferred to New Haven, where it was used on several lightly traveled lines. Operated by volunteer Bill Dopkins, car 629 was built in 1939 by the 3rd Avenue Railway in New York City. The car ran on 59th Street in Manhattan until 1946, and on Southern Boulevard in the Bronx until 1948, when trolley service ended in that borough. The car was shipped to Vienna, Austria, as part of the United States assistance rebuilding Europe's rail infrastructure after World War II. The car was returned to the United States and was donated to the museum in 1967. An indispensable car on any historic electric railway is the line car. Operated by volunteer Rick Rittenauer, line car 25 was built in 1923 by the Ottawa Car Company and operated on the Ottawa Electric Railways in Ontario. It can be regularly found in service on the Brantford Electric Railway, as our volunteers maintain our own trolley wire. Line cars gave workmen rooftop access to construct, adjust, and make repairs on the overhead wire. The platform can be raised to twice the height of the car and can be pivoted out to either side to work on the adjacent station. There's no such thing as light work on a rail line. Crane cars are necessary for lifting rail and other heavy materials, setting poles, moving motors, and many other jobs. They are an indispensable tool at every railway museum and every trolley museum. Operated by volunteers Bob Russo and Dana Bowers, Montreal Tramways W3 was built in 1929 by the Differential Steel Car Company of Findlay, Ohio. It's quite a sophisticated machine with separate controls for swinging, raising, and extending its boom, and raising and lowering its foot. This car could lift 5 tons. Car W3 was 82,000 pounds. Oftentimes, street railways require to pave the street. Almost every street railway had to be cleared of snow just to keep the cars running, and it was also common to require snow removal. Operated by volunteer Ken Rosen, car S36 was built in 1920. Trolleys, just like cars, aren't perfect. Sometimes they break down, go off the track, or have accidents. Unfortunately, when one disabled car blocked the track, every car behind it was also stuck. Removing the disabled car quickly is vital to restoring service. When your car breaks down, you call AAA. But when a trolley broke down in Providence, Rhode Island, they would call car 1504. Operated by volunteer Rob Paradis, car 1504 was built in 1920 and was the Rhode Island Company's solution to the problem. It was stationed in downtown Providence during every rush hour, loaded with tools to re-rail a car, and ready to tow any disabled car. The car was used in service until Rhode Island Street Railway stopped running in 1980. Operated by volunteer Alex Colazzo, car 302 is the railway post office car, and it's operated by the Union Street Railway of New Bedford, Mass. It ran from the railway station in Fall River to the New Bedford Post Office, then on to Wareham, stopping at all intermediate post offices to pick up and deliver mail. Highly trained railway postal workers sorted mail en route to speed delivery. Trucks operating on improved highways gradually replaced these cars after World War I. Car 302 was built in 1907 by the J.M. Jones Sons of New York. The car was acquired by the museum in 1948, and an extensive restoration was completed 6 years ago. Car 302 is 31 feet long, weighs 31,000 pounds, and carried up to 4 U.S. postal workers. Operated by volunteers Roberto Tillman and Thurston Clark, New York City Transit Authority Car 6688 was built in 1955 by the St. Louis Car Company. This car is typical of thousands of subway cars operating for over half a century in the New York subway system. These cars replaced the original cars built in the early 1900s. Retired and preserved at the Shore Line Trolley Museum in 1987, this car has also made appearances in Season 2 of Russian Doll, Season 1 of Up Here, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, The Joker, and has been used as a backdrop for Coach handbags. A replica of 6688 has been built and will be appearing in the next Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny opening next week. Car 6688 is 51 feet long, weighs 80,000 pounds, and seats 44 passengers. Operated by volunteer Devin Ryan, elevated Car 1349, was built in 1905 by the Cincinnati Car Company as a convertible summer and winter car with glazed panels on the side for use during cold winter months and metal grills on the side for use during hot months. It has reversible cross seats like many street cars rather than fixed seating. Car 1349 was in regular service on the Myrtle Avenue elevated line in Brooklyn and Queens until 1958. Car 1349 is 49 feet long, weighs 73,000 pounds, and seats 60 passengers. Operated by volunteer Al Zalazzo as motorman and Mike Locavara as conductor, Car 503 was built by the American Car and Foundry Company in 1928. The final series of cars ordered by the Hudson and Manhattan Railway, originally styled in 1908. The car ran between Hoboken, New Jersey and 33rd Street in Manhattan and the Hudson Terminal prior to the building of the World Trade Center. The car was the predecessor of the H&M PAF series as displayed in our World Trade Center exhibit. The car ended service in 1968 and was converted to a work car until acquired by the museum in 1979. The car is 51 feet long, weighs 79,000 pounds, and seats 44 passengers. Operated by volunteer team, and the Montreal and Southern Railway Car was built in 1911 by the Grand Trunk Railway System. This interprototype is a blend of city streetcar and steam railway Running on mostly hourly schedules between cities, these cars made stops in small towns, and it ended the rural isolation in many of those small towns. Car 9 operated in revenue from Montreal over the St. Lawrence River to serve the suburban population until 1946. The car is 49 feet long, weighs 37,000 pounds, and seats 56. Car 9 is making its first public appearance today after extensive repair from salt water incurred during hurricanes Sandy and Irene. Operated by volunteer Peter Ezer, Car 116 was built by the Cincinnati Car Company in 1930 for the Cincinnati and Lake Erie Railroad. These cars were lightweight and modern and could operate at speeds exceeding 90 miles an hour on a 273-mile journey from Cincinnati to Toledo and Detroit. You're not going to see the car running that fast at the Trolley Museum today. The car came to the museum in 1953 and is making its first public appearance today after a decade's worth of extensive repair after it incurred saltwater damage from Hurricane Sandy. Car 116 is 44 feet long, weighs 48,000 pounds, and seats 38. Operated by volunteers Matt Pastor as the motorman and Steve Rudolph as the conductor. Chicago North Shore and Milwaukee Car 709 was built in 1924 by the Cincinnati Car Company. Interurban trolleys run on a private right-of-way and safely operated for higher speeds than street cars, using train configuration up to 85 miles an hour. The car is equipped with a passenger water cooler, a fully operational restroom, plush cloth seats, and smoking and non-smoking sections. Car 709 remained in service until the last day of service on the North Shore Line in 1963. Car 709 is 12 feet long. Car 709 weighs 105,000 pounds and seats 52 passengers. As the car goes by, you can tell it is a little bit longer than 12 feet long. It's actually 51 feet. Before paved roads and trucks were common, freight service was often provided to customers along street rail. Operated by volunteer Ryan Lapadula, Locomotive 12 was built in 1917 by Mulder Westinghouse, originally for the Ogden Road Idaho Railroad until 1946. The car was acquired by the Cornwall Street Railway. The museum acquired the locomotive in 1972. The car is 36 feet long, weighs 105,000 pounds. Operated by volunteer Ernie Darrow, the Atlas locomotive is the last car in our parade. It's also called the GA-2310 and was built in 1941 for use at the Reno, Nevada Army Airfield. The locomotive got its name after the Atlas Terminal in Glendale, Queens, New York, when it was purchased by that company during World War II. It ran a freight service ending in 1982. This type of locomotive, also called a critter or yard goat, was designed to move rail cars over short distances through freight yards where track radius was very tight. These locomotives ran at low speeds, typically not more than 20 miles an hour. This little engine has a lot of uses here at the Shore Line Trolley Museum, especially when cars need to be moved in areas where there is no overhead wire. It's powered by a 150 horsepower Cummins diesel, which turns a GE traction generator.
Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to this channel.